Have you ever looked around your home, especially early in the morning, and felt like the walls were whispering, "You've got too much to manage"? Not mess, not chaos, just things. Little things. A pile of mail, a junk drawer that never closes right, a nightstand full of who knows what, and somehow it all feels heavier after 60. Heavier than it ever did before. I used to think it was just me getting slower, or maybe more forgetful. But what I finally realized was this. After a certain age, clutter isn't just physical, it's emotional. It's a quiet reminder that time is moving faster than we expected, and our energy isn't what it used to be. But here's the twist. I didn't need to get my life together. I just needed a few small shifts, little rituals that took less than 5 minutes, but made me feel capable again, calmer, more in control of my space and my day. At 67, I don't want a Pinterest-perfect home. I want a peaceful one. And today, I'm going to share 5 small organizing tricks that helped me feel lighter, not just in my home, but in my heart. They're simple, they're kind, and they don't require a single trip to the store. These are the kinds of shifts that gently say, "You're still in charge here." And the 5th one, oh, I hope you stay for that one, because it's the one that changed how I wake up every single day. Before we begin, I'd love to know, where are you watching from? And how has your relationship with your home been lately? We read every single comment, and your story might be just what someone else needs today. Now go ahead, get cozy, maybe grab a cup of tea. Let's walk through this together. And 1, the landing bowl trick. Do you have that one spot in your home where things just seem to pile up no matter how hard you try? For me, it was the little table by the front door. I used to set it up so neatly, with a candle, maybe a small framed photo. But within days, it turned into the usual suspects. Sunglasses, keys, receipts. I didn't know whether to keep or toss. Pens, rubber bands, you name it, it landed there. At first, I thought I had a discipline problem, like I needed to train myself better. But then one morning, I looked at that table and thought, what if the table isn't the problem? What if I just give the mess a home? So I grabbed an old ceramic bowl I had tucked away in a cabinet. It wasn't fancy. It didn't match anything. But I set it down and called it my landing bowl. And suddenly, that little mess had somewhere to belong. It was like I gave permission for real life to exist in my space. It changed how I felt every time I walked in the door. Instead of guilt, I felt ease. Instead of seeing a mess, I saw grace. And I'm not alone. My friend June, who's 73 and living solo now after her husband passed, told me something that stopped me cold. She said, "Sometimes the clutter is the only thing that proves I'm still doing life." That hit me, because for many of us over 60, the fear isn't just having a messy house. It's the quiet fear that we're no longer managing it. That maybe the home is managing us. The landing bowl was one of the first tiny shifts that reminded me I'm still in charge. I may not have the same energy I did at 40, but I still get to decide how I want to live. And this trick doesn't require bending down, climbing anything, or buying new furniture. You don't need a label maker. You don't even need a new bowl. Just take something you already own, maybe a wooden tray, maybe a little woven basket, and put it where things naturally gather. By the door, by your chair, even by the sink. Don't fight the habit. Embrace it. Channel it. Give it dignity. This isn't about perfection. It's about ease, dignity, simplicity. And trust me, you can do this too. Start today. Set it down, take a breath, and walk away without guilt. Now, if your home is anything like mine used to be, then the real mystery doesn't live on the counters, it lives in the drawers. Let's talk about what happens when we open them, and how one simple trick made them finally make sense again. 2. The drawer within a drawer trick. Do you have a drawer in your home that you secretly hope no guest ever opens? You know the one I mean. It might be in the kitchen, the bedroom, maybe even the hallway. From the outside, it looks innocent. But on the inside, it's chaos. Pens that don't work, keys to who knows where, receipts from 2013, 3 pairs of scissors, but none in reach when you actually need one. For me, it was the top kitchen drawer. I used to open it and immediately sigh. Not just because it was messy, but because it reminded me of something deeper. That life had gotten full, too full, and that somehow I'd stopped making time for the little things. Or maybe I didn't have the energy I once did to stay ahead of it. But one morning, sitting at the kitchen table with a lukewarm cup of tea, I reached for those elusive scissors again. Of course, they weren't where they should have been. I dug through batteries, expired coupons, a broken magnet shaped like a cow, and something sticky I didn't dare identify. And right then, instead of just shoving the drawer shut again, I did something that surprised even me. I dumped the entire thing out on a tea towel. And I looked at it, not with shame this time, but with curiosity. What if I didn't need less stuff, I thought. What if I just needed better borders? So I took 3 small containers, actually old yogurt tubs and a ceramic bowl from the back of the pantry, and placed them inside the drawer. I called them my zones. One for tools, one for paper things, one for random items I didn't know what to do with yet. Nothing fancy. But suddenly, what used to feel like a black hole became a gentle system. That's when the phrase came to me. Drawer within a drawer. It wasn't about the drawer being perfect. It was about it being peaceful. I can't tell you how much that changed my daily rhythm. Every time I reached for something afterward, I felt calm, capable. Like the drawer was rooting for me instead of working against me, and I'm not alone. My neighbor Carol, she's 72 and recovering from a hip replacement, told me something that made me pause. She said, "When I finally organized that drawer next to my bed, I cried. Not because of the mess, but because it had become a metaphor. It held the last 10 years of me trying to keep going without asking for help." It struck me that for many of us, especially after retirement, drawers aren't just containers. They're emotional closets. They hold the fragments of who we used to be, what we thought we'd get to, what we were too tired to finish. And every time we open them, we get a subtle whisper, "You're falling behind." But here's the truth. No one says out loud, "You're not falling behind. You're shifting. You're learning how to live with gentleness and grace." So here's what I suggest. Choose just one drawer in your home today, not the worst one. Maybe even an easy one, like a nightstand. Lay a towel out. Pour the contents gently onto it. Let yourself laugh. Let yourself feel. Then, instead of trying to declutter everything at once, create containers. They don't have to match. They don't have to look pretty. They just have to serve you. And here's the part I love most. Label nothing. Because labels change. Your needs change. You change. The drawer can adapt with you. You deserve that kind of flexibility. As you put things back in, ask yourself not, "Should I keep this?" but, "Do I want to make space for this version of me?" You can do this too. Truly. This isn't about being neat. It's about being kind to your current self, not your former one. Now, I know for many women, the drawer isn't the real challenge. It's what's left out in plain sight. The things we keep shuffling from room to room, never quite knowing where they go. So next, I want to share a little trick I learned that involves an old tray and a new way of giving floating clutter a home. It's one of the most comforting shifts I've made, and I think it might be just what your home has been quietly asking for. Character 3, the Rule of 5 basket. Have you ever walked into a room, seen 5 random things out of place, and instead of fixing them, just walked right back out? I used to do that all the time, especially after I turned 65. It's not that I didn't care. I did. Deeply. But somewhere along the way, the house started to feel bigger than me. Little things, magazines on the coffee table, a stray sock under the recliner, glasses I swore I just put down, began multiplying like rabbits. And I would think, how did this happen? When did my own home start feeling like it was slipping out of my hands? Then one day, while visiting my sister Nora, I noticed this small woven basket by her entryway. It was cute, nothing fancy, but I watched her, without a word, walk past it and casually drop in a tissue pack, a screwdriver, and a folded-up grocery list. I asked, "What's that basket for?" And she smiled and said, "Oh, that's my rule of 5. That phrase stuck with me. Later that week, I made my own basket. Nothing special, just a soft cloth bin I already had. I called it my Rule of 5 basket. Here's the simple idea. Each time you walk into a room and feel overwhelmed, pause. Look around. Then choose just 5 things, no more, no less, to drop into that basket. Items that don't belong. A pen, a sock, a receipt, a stray earring? It doesn't matter. 5 is the magic number. It keeps it doable, gentle, human. At the end of the day, or even every few days, I'd carry the basket around and simply return each item to where it belonged. No pressure, no timer, just care, just choice. This little habit changed the way I looked at my house. It broke the cycle of, "I'll get to it later," and replaced it with, "I can do 5 right now." And here's the part no one talks about. After 60, clutter doesn't just clutter your home, it clutters your mind. We're already juggling appointments, medications, new aches, and the quiet weight of memory. Our brains crave wins, tiny victories, not big weekend cleanouts, just 5 gentle decisions over and over again. Margie, 71, who watches from New Mexico, sent me this beautiful line. My Rule of 5 basket isn't about cleaning, it's about reclaiming. Every time I use it, I remind myself that I still have say over how I live, one small thing at a time. And that's exactly it. This trick doesn't require bending, lifting, or sorting through emotional items. It's small, forgiving, and oddly calming. You can keep a basket in each room if you like, or just one that travels with you. Keep it next to your chair, by your bed, even by the front door. Let it be a soft container of your awareness, not your guilt. And if one day, all you can manage is 3 things instead of 5, that's okay. You're still honoring your space. You're still showing up. And you're still the boss of your home. You can do this too. Now, I know some of you are thinking, but what about the papers, the piles, the little bits that never seem to have a home? Oh, Frenchie, I hear you. Because those piles used to haunt me. But then I learned something about parking papers that changed how I handle information overload. And it starts with a simple shift in where those papers rest and what that says about your peace of mind. Let me show you next. 4. The exit basket habit. Do you ever find yourself getting ready to leave the house, but spending 10 minutes trying to remember where you left your sunglasses, that letter you meant to mail, or the birthday card you wanted to drop off? For me, it used to feel like every departure came with a mini scavenger hunt. I'd get my coat on, feel proud I was on time, and then, boom, I'd freeze. Where's that return receipt? Didn't I just have it? It seems like such a small thing. But the stress it adds to a simple outing? It builds. And after 60, we're already doing the quiet math of energy. We ask ourselves, is this worth the hassle? And more often than not, the answer becomes, maybe tomorrow. Until I found the exit basket. It started as a tip from a dear friend, Judith, who's 74 and one of the most graceful women I know. She has this lovely woven tray by her front door. I noticed one day it held a neatly folded umbrella, her reading glasses, a cloth grocery bag, and an envelope. She said, "This basket saves my sanity." I asked what she meant. She explained, "Every time I think of something that needs to leave the house, a return, a gift, a note, I put it right here. I don't try to remember later. When it's time to go, I grab the basket and glance in. Everything's ready to go. It's like packing peace into my day." That one sentence changed how I leave the house. Now I keep my own exit basket near the door. And anytime I think, I need to bring this with me, I don't trust my memory. I place it right in. No mental notes, no sticky reminders, just gentle release. And the basket holds it for me. It's not just about staying organized. It's about honoring the reality of where we are in life. After 60, our minds are full, not broken, not failing, just beautifully full. And there's no shame in needing support systems that work with our rhythm, not against it. Lucille, 69, wrote to me saying, "My exit basket helps me leave the house without leaving behind my dignity." That moved me deeply, because it's not just about remembering things. It's about preserving our sense of competence, of trust in ourselves. And that, my friend, is worth more than any shopping list. If you don't have a basket, start with a bowl, a box, even a spot on a small tray. The key is consistency. Let it be your designated going out place. And if your memory feels shaky some days, know this: systems aren't signs of weakness, they're signs of wisdom. You can do this too. And when you do, notice how much lighter your departures feel. You'll walk out the door not just with what you need, but with calm in your chest. And speaking of lightness, what if I told you the next trick isn't about managing clutter at all, but about transforming it before it even begins? It's a tiny habit at the entryway that can quietly change the way your entire home feels. Let's talk about that next. 5. The nightstand reset ritual. Have you ever reached for your glasses in the morning and knocked over a half-full water cup, a crumpled tissue, or a mystery pill bottle from 3 nights ago? I have. More than once. And there was a morning, not too long ago, when I sat on the edge of my bed and realized my nightstand had become a tiny island of chaos. And the worst part? It was the very first thing I saw each day and the very last before sleep. It might sound small, but when we're over 60, every little cue in our environment speaks louder. Our space begins to shape how we feel inside, and clutter, even in the quietest corner, whispers something heavy. Something like, "You're behind, you forgot, you're slipping." I didn't want to start or end my day with that feeling, so I created what I now call my nightstand reset. It's simple. Every evening, before I turn off the lamp, I take 2 minutes, just 2, to gently restore that little space. I return the book I didn't read. I toss the tissue. I straighten my lip balm and lotion. I refill my water, set my glasses neatly, and place a soft cloth under my phone. Sometimes I even light a small candle while I do it. Not because I need it, but because rituals deserve beauty. This became more than tidying. It became a sacred moment of return. A gentle reminder, you're still in charge here. You're still choosing peace. My friend Eileen, 72, told me in an email, "I can't control my blood pressure. I can't control what the doctor says, but I can control how my nightstand feels when I close my eyes." That's the heart of it. In a world where so much feels outside our reach, the nightstand is a space we can own, fully, lovingly, and night after night. If you live with someone, invite them into it too, not to match your style, but to share the moment, to say, "We end this day with care." And if you've got medications, chargers, earplugs, and a jumble of remotes, start small. Choose one corner, one item, one gentle breath of order. Then let that momentum carry forward. Done? You can do this too. And when you do, you might find what I did. That small acts of order at night create quiet confidence in the morning. Not the kind that shouts, but the kind that steadies. Now, before we close, I want to leave you with something that pulls all these tiny tricks together. It's not another basket. It's not a drawer. It's a mindset, a way of approaching your home with both grace and structure. It's what helped me stop chasing perfection and start living with clarity. Let's end there. What if the smallest shift in your home could make the biggest shift in your mood? Not a renovation, not a deep clean, just a small act of care in the corner you see most often. A drawer that closes without a fight. A basket that gathers your to-dos with grace. A nightstand that whispers, "You're safe here." You don't need to rearrange your whole life. You don't need fancy bins or a label maker. You don't need to be anyone else's version of organized. You just need a soft moment to pause and ask, what in this space feels like peace? And what feels like pressure? Because every time you choose calm over clutter, every time you release the need for perfection and reach instead for presence, you're not giving up on your past. You're investing in your present. And that's something every woman over 60 deserves. Rita from Kansas wrote me last week. She said, "I thought organizing meant controlling everything. Now I know it means creating little invitations to breathe." That's what this whole video has been, an invitation to breathe. If any of these 5 tricks spoke to you today, I'd love to hear. What's one small corner you're ready to reset this week? A basket? A drawer? A breath before bed? Share it below. You never know who you'll inspire. And if no one's told you this today, you're not behind. You're just ready. You can do this too. I'll see you next time, my friend. Until then, be kind to your space and even kinder to yourself.